What is going on, Crimson City? My name is Crimson CBAD, bringing you guys our draft analysis for Season 8 of the GBA, the Global Battle Association. I'm so excited, man. I love GBA season. I love it. It always brings back good times. I feel like I started with GBA, you know? So I'm really excited. You know, obviously didn't start with the GBA, but like that's kind of like where I started my channel was, with joining the GBA and all that good stuff. Met a lot of people through it, had a lot of good times, so good memories of that stuff. So I'm always excited whenever it comes around. So if you guys are excited, show some love to that like button down below. Your guys' support is always greatly appreciated. If you're new, coming off of the draft stream that just happened, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you do not miss out. Team builders every Saturday, battles every Sunday. I'm really looking forward to it. Let's go on ahead and just kind of start talking. So round one here, we grabbed Jirachi. Jirachi is an awesome Pokemon. Base 100s across the board. Steel Psychic type with the Serene Grace ability, which doubles, I believe. Doubles. And Pokemon's moves that have their secondary effect chance doubled. So a lot of people tend to talk about Jirachi as like a very hacksy Pokemon because of Serene Grace. You know, para-flinching things with Body Slam, Zen Headbutt, Iron Head, all that good stuff. Obviously, I've seen sets where they've got Ice Punch on Jirachi and it freezes. So, Jirachi is often looked at as one of those Pokemon that's like, you know, some people are questionable whether they drafted, some people, I like it. It's got a lot of really good bulk behind it with its natural typing, being weak to Dark, Ghost, Ground, and Fire. Yes, Dark, Ghost, Ground, and Fire. So, yeah, that's something to say about Jirachi. It does a lot of really cool stuff. It can Wish Pass. It can be a setup sweeper with moves like Calm Mind. It can, you know, obviously set up hazards. It has U-turn. We can kind of look here. Like I said, it's got Calm Mind, you know, Draco Meteor Jirachi. I mean, we can Fire Punch, Flash Cannon, Grass Knot. Healing Wish is really cool. Jirachi will, like, say if it's at low health, goes for Healing Wish, all of its HP is depleted, brings in a Pokemon, heals it up completely, status and all, which is really nice. Obviously, the, you know, Ice Punch, Iron Head we talked about. It can set up Light Screen. It has Meteor Mash, which is really cool. Moonblast, Play Rough, Power Up Punch, Psychic, Psyshock. It's got a really, you know, obviously like screens. I said it could set up rocks. Thunder Wave and Toxic are really cool. It can trick Pokemon as well. Wish support, like I said. A lot of really cool Pokemon, or a lot of really cool sets to be ran with this thing. I'm really looking forward to using it. I feel like every time somebody else grabs it, I'm like, I wish I would have grabbed it. So went out the gate and grabbed Jirachi. I think it's going to be really cool. One of the things that I like to go well with, that should go well with Jirachi, obviously that fire weakness is there. Ground, Dark are also two moves that do hit that thing pretty hard. Often you see things like that on the physical side. So I wanted like a fire resist that was also very physically bulky as well. So I went with Suicune. We got Suicune. We had Suicune in GBA Season 5. Did very well with it. I'm looking forward to bringing Suicune back. Bulky waters are always something really good to have in League format. Suicune with the pressure ability, base 100 HP, 115 in both defenses, special attack and speed, nothing too crazy. Typically you see like a Calm Mind, maybe 3 attack set, like a Rest Talk set, like a Rest Roar set, something like that, just to kind of phase things out. But it's really hard to knock this thing out outside of like a Z move or a Pokemon that's already set up. I'm really looking forward to using it. You know, it has niche moves like Air Slash. Like I said, it can set up with Calm Mind, Extra Sensor. You typically don't see physical Suicune ever, but like Hydro Pump and Ice Beam, obviously. It can set up Reflect. Did I see Light Screen? No, just Reflect. So it can set up Reflect. It has Tailwind support, which is really nice. Aqua Ring for recovery as well. Just to top on for like the leftovers. Icy Wind is there. Mirror Code is there too, which is really nice. Psych Up in case other Pokemon start, you know, trying to counter. Like we go in and we can outspeed something that's set up. We can go for you know, say like a Curslax or something. We can go for a Psych Up and all of a sudden copy those boosts as well. Kind of 1v1ing it efficiently. So I really like Suicune. I think it goes really well. Something else that is really good to grab in League format, in my opinion, is fast electric types. And I've used Thundurus Therian before in League, so I wanted to try out Thundurus Incarnate. Really cool stats right here. 115 attack, 125 special attack, and 111 in speed. Incredible base stats offensively. Defenses aren't too crazy, but this thing's more of an offensive Pokemon, if I do say so myself. Two really cool abilities in Prankster. The status moves have priority raised by 1. Dark types are immune. That was the nerf to Prankster in Gen 7, so that is something to always keep in mind. The Defiant ability is really cool as well. Pokemon's attack is raised by 2 stages for each of its stats that's lowered. So a lot of Intimidate users run around in League format commonly, with the plethora of Defog users as well that are running around there. If they go for a Defog in the switch, and you know, a Defiant Physical Thundurus could be really cool. Even like a mixed set with like Wild Charge or Acrobatics or something could be really nice on this thing as well. The speeds here obviously helps us outspeed a lot of common threats in League format. The Lotties, Garchomp, things like that. Things that you often see in League format that are pretty fast. Looking at this thing's move pool, it can set up with agility, bulk up. It has access to moves both on the physical and the special side in Crunch and Dark Pulse. Does have access to Prankster Defog, which is really nice. Hazard support is really cool in League format. Having that Prankster Defog is nice. Discharge, Flash Cannon, Focus Blast, Foul Play, Grass Knot, Hammer Arm, Knockoff, Nasty Plot, Psychic, Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave, Superpower. It has turning momentum both in U-turn and Volt Switch, which is really, really nice. We talked about how it can be run physical too with moves like Superpower and Wild Charge. Acrobatics is a thing as well. Heal Block, if you want to run something like that. Incinerate is cool for getting berries on those 4x fire weaknesses. Smart Strike, again, a physical steel type move, which is really, really nice. I really like Thunderous. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, that does give us a little bit of, so that gives us a rock weakness and an ice weakness right out of the gate. Jirachi and Suicune obviously enjoy taking those rock and ice hits as well. Something cool, so keeping it in with like turning momentum from things like Jirachi, things like Thunderous, a really, really fast offensive Pokemon that can be paired well, I feel like, defensively with Pokemon like Jirachi, with Pokemon like Suicune. Went on ahead and grabbed Mega Beedrill. Now, this was a really interesting pick because my first season in GBA, I grabbed Mega Beedrill round 1, not really knowing what I was doing. So 4th round comes around, we grab Mega Beedrill, an incredibly powerful Pokemon. 145 base speed, 150 base attack. Pretty much like the opponent needs a Scarfer or an agility user at any point if they want to make sure to outrun Mega Beedrill. With the adaptability of the Pokemon, same type attack bonus is 2 instead of 1.5. So moves like U-Turn and Poison Jab are going to be doing a lot more. We can take a look at its moveset right here. Agility, I don't know why you'd ever want to set up with an agility with Mega Beedrill, but you can. It can Baton Pass as well. It does have access to Defog, another hazard removal, which is really, really cool. Drill Run you'll see on there. And now with Gen 7, obviously the speed tier is automatically after the Mega Evolution happens. There's no need to run Protect on this thing. So you can run a 4-attack Mega Beedrill. Drill Run. Endeavor's a pretty... let's run Endeavor Mega Beedrill sometime this season. Knockoff and Poison Jab. Poison Jab, obviously, instead of being boosted by an extra 50%, it's double the output, which is really cool. Pursuit Trapping is always nice. It can roost. It has its own natural recovery. Swords Dance setting up is cool. Tailwind is awesome. Toxic Spike support is also something cool to wear down some of those bulkier walls. U-turn, obviously, for the switching momentum like we talked about. X-Scissor. One move that I do want to talk about is Fell Stinger. Fell Stinger, a base 50 power bug move, doubled by stab, obviously. Raises the user's attack by 3 if it KOs the target. So if you get a Fell Stinger, if you kill something with Fell Stinger, you know, you're set to go. You're automatically +3. That's a Tail Glow in physical attack right there, which is awesome in my opinion. I just want to double check here. Infestation for trapping, Iron Defense. Those are some niche moves, I feel like. Skull Bash, Mega Beedrill, things like that. It does get Throat Chop, actually. That's something cool to note. I actually didn't know it got Throat Chop. That might be something to run, but really fast Pokemon, really hard-hitting Pokemon. Nothing really, obviously we need to deal with, you know, we need to worry about the rocks that are on there, but we do have Defog in Thunderous. We do have Defog on this Pokemon as well. A Poison type is always nice for removing Toxic Spikes, especially a grounded Poison type. Nothing like Wheezing or anything like that. I really, really like it, but now, obviously, being weak to rocks, now 2 Pokemon that are weak to rocks, I do want to have a really good rock switch in, and I don't always want that Pokemon to be Jirachi. So Donphan is coming in for Season 8 with the Detroit Steel Wings. Donphan is a very incredible Rapid Spinner, very awesome Stealth Rock setter, so that way, you know, we don't need to always bring Defog on Thunderous or Defog on Beedrill, if we ever run Defog on Beedrill, or Stealth Rocks on Jirachi, things like that. Does have very hard-hitting moves, 120 base attack and defense. Special defense is 60, which isn't too much, but an Assault Vest Donphan is never something to sleep on, in my opinion. It does obviously have the Ice, Water, and Grass weaknesses there, but I feel like we patched that up very nicely with, you know, Jirachi and Suicune as a nice defensive core. The Sturdy ability, if the Pokemon is at full HP, it survives 1 hit with at least 1 HP. Immune to OHKO moves, even though we don't run those. We can take a look at its moveset right here. Body Slam, Double Edge, Earthquake, Fire Fang, Gunk Shot, Gyro Ball, Head Smash, Heavy Slam, Ice Shard. Priority is really nice. Ice Shard, that's actually our first mon with priority, is the Donphan there. Knockoff, Play Rough, Poison Jab, Rapid Spin like we talked about. It can roar mons over hazards, which is really nice. Seed Bomb, Stone Edge, it sets up the rocks, Superpower, Toxic, things like that. Typically a more one-dimensional Pokemon. I have seen offensive sets used, but it's definitely more defensive. And looking at the team right now, Suicune and Donphan are really much like our defensive roles for the team. And I really wanted to get a little bit more bulk on there. A Spin Blocker is really nice if we are able to set up hazards with things like Donphan or T-Spikes with the Mega Beedrill. So I went with Cofagrigus here. Cofagrigus is an interesting Pokemon. I've never used it before, and I'm really looking forward to. In fact, I have used Suicune and Donphan in League format before. Mega Beedrill I have used, like, poorly, I feel like. But Cofagrigus I've actually never used in League formats. awesome Pokemon here. 145 base defense, 145 special defense. The Mummy ability. Pokemon making contact with this Pokemon have their ability change to Mummy, which is awesome indeed. I really like that move. Often you'll see this thing with like a Colbur Berry to be able to take those Dark-type moves and remove the overall any sort of ability that the Pokemon has with the Mummy ability. So looking at its moveset right here, it can set up with Calm Mind. It has Destiny Bond, which is awesome. If an opponent knocks out the user, it also faints. Really cool. Disable could be some pretty tech. Things like Energy Ball and Grass Knot for coverage. Haze, in order to prevent things from setting up, eliminates all stat changes, which is nice. Hex, power doubles of the target, has a status ailment, so if we can get up Toxic Spikes with something like Beedrill, go for Hex. That's pretty cool. It can knock off items, which is nice. Magic Coat bounces back certain non-damaging moves. Typically, the way you see this Pokemon worn down in battles is by toxicking it, you know, wearing it down slowly but surely. So if we think something's going to go for a Toxic just to wear this thing down, we click Magic Coat, bounce it back, switch out, get on out of there. Memento is very nice for setting up. It lowers the target's attack and special attack by 2, and it faints. So we think Cofagrigus is about to go down. If we have an opportunity to set up, we click Memento, we bring in a Pokemon, and pretty much start setting up all over it, which is really nice. So something like a Swords Dance Mega Beedrill, or a Fell Stinger Mega Beedrill, or something like that could be really cool to pair with that. A Nasty Plot Thundurus, Calm Mind Jirachi, and Suicune, Pokemon like that. Nasty Plot for setup Nightshade, like I said. Pain Split for the recovery is nice. Shadow Ball, this thing can also set up Toxic Spikes, which is really nice. It also has access to Will-O-Wisp for burning those physical Pokemon. So typically what you'll see is, like, say, for instance, you know, something like a Mega Absol is coming up against this thing. Or say something like a Weavile is coming at this thing, you know. If we have a Colbur Berry, obviously the knockoff reduces that. We can Will-O-Wisp it and all of a sudden cut its physical attack in half, which is really nice. Trick Room is also cool for 5 turns. Pokemon slower moves first. So mons like Donphan, Cofagrigus, you guys can see down here. We also have like Granbull, Tangela, Kangaskhan. Those slower mons can definitely appreciate a Trick Room. It can go for Curse. Crafty Shield protects allies from status moves this turn. I didn't even know that was a move. Grudge, if the user faints, the attack loses all its PP. That's something kind of techy that you can do. Infestation Curse is a really cool set I like with bulkier ghost types. Spite is cool for eliminating PP of Pokemon. Don't think I'll ever use those, but they're just cool moves to bring up, like, in certain niche situations. Next up here, bringing out some more priority. Like I said, our only priority is with Donphan, adding another hazard setter to the team as well. We've got Infernape, and I used Infernape the same season as I used Suicune, and I really enjoyed it. 2 abilities in Blaze and in Iron Fist. Blaze, the Pokemon is at a third or less. The fire attacks are boosted by an extra 50%. Iron Fist, Pokemon's punch-based attacks are boosted by an extra 20%, which is cool. Let's look at it. Let's talk about its stats first. 104 in both offenses, 71 in both defenses, and 108 in speed is a awesome speed tier to sit in. We're obviously outspeeding all those pesky base 100s. We're outspeeding Pokemon like Garchomp. We're obviously not outspeeding mons like the Lotties, but having a mon like Infernape typically forces your opponent to run a like Scarf Lottie set just to make sure like Infernape can, you know, just so they can deal with Infernape, because if it gets too out of control, it's crazy. Acrobatics, Blaze Kick, Brick Break, Bulk Up is really cool. Calm Mind setup is cool. Close Combat, Earthquake, it can Encore to where we can set up with another Pokemon. It can be a complete support set. Endeavor, Fake Out priority is nice. Fire Blast, Fire Punch, Flame Charge, Flamethrower, Flare Blitz, Focus Blast, Frustration, Grass Knot, Gunk Shot, Heat Wave, Hone Claws setup, Low Kick, Nasty Plot setup, Overheat, Poison Jab, Power Up Punch, Rock Slide, Shadow Claw, Sleep Talk, Slack Off for the recovery, Stone Edge. I mean, it's a crate Pokemon. Swords Dance, it's a taunt user. It can Will-O-Wisp Pokemon too. And Infernape's an incredible Pokemon. I'm not going to go through all its moveset like I have with everything else, just because there's so many. There's so many. It's a really cool Pokemon to have offensively. Really nice priority, really good speeds here, really good mixed offense. I'm looking forward to bringing it back here. At this point in the draft, you know, fairies are pretty much all gone at this point. Fairies are pretty much all gone, just completely gone at this point. I went and grabbed something out of Tier 5, I believe it was. I believe Granbull was a Tier 5 pick. Tier 5 pick, yeah. Tier 5 Granbull here with the Intimidate ability, which is really nice. Also has Quick Feed with Pokemon in status, but it's a really, I mean, it's got 45 base speed. What do you do with that? So Intimidate Granbull is really cool. Just for helping out with dragons, other physical threats like that too. Body Slam, Brick Break, Bulk Up, Close Combat. This thing does get Heal Bell support. This thing gets moves like Thunder Wave for speed control. Stone Edge, Super Fang, it's a taunt user. Roar, it can roar things over hazards as well. So another cool Pokemon, another little bulky tank Pokemon that can pretty much do, you know, niche rolls each week, things like that. I'm looking forward to using Granbull, honestly. The Intimidate, the Cleric support, you know, having a solid fairy on the team is always nice. I think fairies are always coveted highly in Draft League format. I think Grambl's going to do really, really well here. Next up here, there's actually a little, I was actually scared I wasn't going to get this Pokemon, and I'm really excited to use it in League. Right before me, obviously, NecroStevo drafted Lycanroc Day, or Lycanroc D, and I was like, what am I going to grab? What am I going to grab? And then he clarified that it was Lycanroc Day. So we got Lycanroc Dusk here. Brand new to Ultra Sun and Moon. 117 base attack, 110 base speed. Very good speeds here, as we've been talking about. Those are always very nice to have. The Tough Claws ability. Pokemon's contact moves have their powers multiplied by 1.3. So if I touch you, it gets an extra 30% boost, which is really cool because Drill Run, boosted by Stab and Tough Claws, does more than Earthquake, which is really, really cool. Obviously, we do have the 95% accuracy there. Accelerock is another move, priority move, boosted by Stab and Tough Claws. Incredible Pokemon. This thing can be a Swords Dance setup. It can also run rocks. It can set up with Bulk Up. It has access moves like Crunch, Fire Fang, Iron Head, Outrage. You know, it can set up with Rock Polish as well, Stone Edge, Sucker Punch, Swords Dance, Zen Headbutt, things like that. I've never really seen it used in League format. You know, obviously we're brand new into this Stomping Tantrum. So Protect Stomping Tantrum could be a secret tech set. But overall, I really like this Pokemon. I think it's really good offensively. I think his speed tier is going to be really good. I'm interested to see how it does in League format here. We've got a really interesting Fire-Water core right now with Suicune and Infernape, and Grass types are always something cool to grab. So I went on ahead and grabbed Tangela here. I used Tangela previously in League, and it's so bulky. It's the only Pokemon I know outside of, like, EVOLite Tangela takes a Flare Blitz from Darmanitan. I mean, how many grass types can you say about that? So I think it's probably one of the best grass types. The Regenerator ability is cool. Restores a third of the maximum HP. Has access to Knockoff, Leech Seed, Recovery, and Morning Sun and Synthesis, obviously. Power Whip, it can go for Reflect, it can go for Leaf Storm. It can be run physical or special. Swords Dance Tangela, man. Swords Dance Tangela, I'm telling you. Can set grassy terrain as well for its own recovery as well. Poison Powder, it gets Sleep Powder as well, things like that. Worry Seed, the target's ability becomes Insomnia. So bulky grass types always sync well with teams, I feel like. They're never too good offensively, but defensively they're pretty well. They take a lot of really cool hits. We obviously patch up, you know, the weaknesses of Tangela with the rest of our defensive core here. And then last but not least, we had another tier 5 Pokemon, and I wasn't sure what to go with. I wanted to go with something like Tauros. I was looking around. Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan is cool. I recently, a couple months ago now, I think I got stunted on by, I think for the time, I got stunted on by a Z Kangaskhan by John, aka Pokemon. So I was like, you know what, Kangaskhan. Really good bulk here. Special attack, you know, you obviously don't see too many special attacking Kangaskhan's, but I got hit by a Z Thunder, actually. So that's something to note. 105 HP, 95 base attack, 80 defense, 80 in special defense, 90 in speed. So it's got 2 good abilities, I feel like. Early Bird could be ran, I suppose. But Scrappy, I can hit the ghost types of normal and fighting type moves. Inner Focus, I cannot flinch. Has some pretty good physical coverage. You know, Aqua Tail, Avalanche, Body Slam, Brick Break. Circle Throw is really cool. Disable, Crunch, Double Edge, Drain Punch, Earthquake, Endeavor. Priority in Fake Out. I believe he also gets priority in Sucker Punch as well. We'll see here in a bit. Focus Punch, Hammer Arm, Ice Punch, Low Kick, Outrage, Power Punch. Return, obviously, Rock Slide, Shadow Claw. Sucker Punch, there it is. You see moves like Surf and stuff down here for that. Something also to note is that Kangaskhan is a Wish Passer, so we can Wish Pass into some of our other Pokemon, which is super cool. So we've got 2 Wish Passes on the team between Jirachi and Kangaskhan, which I think is really nice. I just want to double check down here. Anything else? Counter, Crush Claw, things like that. I want to make sure I'm not missing out on any moves. Down here, Iron Tail, things like that. Yeah, there's that Z Thunder. There's that Z Thunder. It can go for Yawn, too. So, it's a really cool Pokemon. I thought it was a really nice Pokemon to have in Tier 5 overall, personally. I didn't think anything too bad about it. And then, that's our team. That's the Detroit Steel Wings for Season 8. 2 things to note about our Z Captains. So, there was the Z budget. We're given 100 points to choose Z Captains in the team. Tier 1 Pokemon are 80 points. Tier 2 are 60. Tier 3 are 50. Tier 4 are 40, and Tier 5 are 20 points. So ideally, a lot of people go for like a Tier 1 and a Tier 5. So Thundurus is one of our Z captains here. It does really appreciate it, obviously, after a setup, maybe like a, Z Fly from this thing after a bulk up. It does have a lot of coverage moves that could appreciate with Z moves. Something like Infernape, you'll often see with like a Scarf or a Band or a Life Orb. Thundurus, you don't really see choiced too much. But so it does have the option to use its diverse move pool for those Z moves. And then we were left with a tier 5, and it was like either Grand Bull, Tangela, or Kangaskhan. So one of the Kangaskhan was the other Z move user. I think I'm haunted by that Z Thunder Kangaskhan that John ran against me. But moves like, Z Aqua Tail, Z Brick Break, Z Crunch, Z Earthquake. Could be some pretty tech moves coming in from Kangaskhan. I think it's going to be really cool. Hope you guys have enjoyed this draft analysis. If you have, show some love to that like button down below. If you're new, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Next Saturday, we've got our team builder going up against its Gator, coach of the Florida Gators. And of course, next Sunday, we'll have our battle up against him as well. All that being said, I hope you have enjoyed. Be great, do great. I'm going to let this outro bang. I'm going to talk to y'all soon. Later.